Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to Saitama as we're getting set for race number 3 of the fourth season of the NR 2003 Red Bull GT Series. As we're getting set for today's race here in Japan for 21 laps of racing. On the pole position is Reagan Whitlock in the number 88 machine. As I try to go back to my points deal, here we go. Reagan Whitlock comes into this race from our last race 2 weeks ago in that critical 35th position in the points, which means he was locked in the show, but he needs a good run to get himself away from that 35th in the position cut line. Otherwise, he could find himself heading into Motegi next week trying to have to qualify his way in on time. Alongside is J Fogleman in the number 1. He dropped 16 spots down to 26th position in the points. Trinity Lee in row number 2. Trinity Lee comes in this race 8th in the points, gained 10 spots after a good run at our last race, which was 2 weeks ago. And Annie Crenshaw, who's had a rough start to the year, one of 3 drivers who sits 45th in the points with a big fat 0 next to her name. She would like to have a good run here today and get herself out of having to try to qualify her way in to Motegi next week. And Banco Seaman rounds out the top 5. There's the rest of your starting lineup. The points leader starting dead last. That is Bradley Reim in the number 21. Speaking of Bradley Reim, he's the points leader by 6 points over Alexander Underwood. Cody Goforth dropped the spot down to 3rd in the standings. Banco Seaman, the rookie points leader, he is 4th in the standings, 2 points over Sarah Redmond, who is 5th. Jared Johnson jumped up 10 spots to 6th. Lucian Bianchi gained 4 spots up to 7th. Trinity Lee jumped up 10 spots to 8th, as we mentioned. Maddie Crenshaw, who led the most laps, only had settled for 2nd, jumped up 18 spots up to 9th in the standings. And Kyler Anderson, the reigning champion of the GT Series, is 10th. He jumped up 13 spots after Riverside. Let's get these cars moving. Make sure nobody has any issues. And then we'll get this 21 lapper underway in the process. This is the second time I've had to record this race because I did record this race before, but when I was getting ready to go upload it, my recording system decided to crash on me, and then I lost the footage. So yeah, which I really was not happy with. Not happy with my recording deal, but nevertheless, we're going to get this done eventually. At least I don't have to be at work until 6 as I'm recording this on a Saturday morning. But J Fogleman and Reagan Whitlock ready to bring the field to the green flag for our 3rd race of the season and the first of 2 of the Japanese tour. We'll see how this goes. Green flags in the air. We're racing here at Saitama. And hope that Kasumi Takashi, the Japanese driver, our only Japanese driver in the field, has a good race here today. If you weren't with us for Go or Go Home qualifying, we took you a lap around this fun racetrack. Zachary Fitzwater making his first start of the year, which means the only driver who's yet to make a start this season, which will now be 48th in the points, will be will be Courtney Lynn, who failed to qualify for this race. This track has not been used as a points-paying event since the Fark Low Dollar Series last ran here back in 2012, which we saw Tom Delgado racing sweep both races, which if you haven't seen that event, I will put the link to that video down in the description below. Look at that, 205 going into the left-hander. Of course, this is kind of a road course, but that small right-hand bend at the end of the backstretch is the only thing that's not is making it a different road course. It's the only left-hander road course that we will go to on this circuit. And everybody did take the start, so that's a good thing. Caution's out. I just saw a car teleport to pit road. I couldn't tell who that was. And we're under caution for the first time on lap 2. They went to, I think, lap 10. And at second in points, Alexander Underwood in trouble. Oh, boy. Second in points, Alexander Underwood in trouble. That's not good for the driver who is trying to run down his team owner for the points lead, but he has had trouble here in the early part of this race. Caution's out for the first time today as the field is behind the convertible pace car. Let's jump back and look at a replay. The guy who is trying to run down Bradley Reim for the points lead in trouble in the early stages here at Saitama. Well, this part of the track is also another place we are going to have a trouble spot. It looks like Henrietta Fitzwater ran into the back of Cody Smart on the right side. And around goes Alexander Underwood, who was running 26 at the time of this crash. And he's going to hit the tire wall right there. Wow, that was a big shot. Driver's side impact for the 60. That's no doubt going to bring out a yellow. Ooh, Josh Harmon ran wide. Did he hit anything? He didn't, thankfully. And that's a lot of damage. And it looks like Alex Underwood's day is done. This is a disaster for him because remember, he is the guy that's trying to run down Bradley Reim for the points lead. I don't think he's going to be second in points after today is over. And unfortunately for the 60 part of Bradley Reim's team, he is going to be the first driver out of this race. So what a shame for the driver who came in second in points, trying to run down Bradley Reim. As the caution's out for the first time today, let's jump back to the restart here at Saitama. Getting ready to go back to green on lap number 5 of 21, and note all restarts will be single file restarts here at Saitama, because remember, we are on a road course. Top 10 as we go back to green. Reagan Whitlock, the leader. Reggie Fogleman second. Trinity Lee third. Vanko Seaman fourth, with Annie Crenshaw in fifth. Dana Monroe 6th, Elena Aurora 7th, 8th Logan Williams, 9th Skylar Taylor, and P Albanus complete top 10. See turn 3 right here, that's another trouble spot as far as that is concerned, because you don't want to take too much curb or you're going to send yourself straight into the tire wall. And this also could be another trouble spot, this corner right here, because we've seen incidents, and even Ashley Tucker, who flipped her car in the Fark Low Dollar Series race over on the left side. So actually, over here, did a lot of damage when she flipped, but thankfully they got her out of the car safely, so there you go. Zach Underwood is out of the race, so he is our first retirement of this deal, and like I said, that's a big disappointment for him, because remember, he came in this race second in points. He was trying to run down Bradley Reim for the points leader, so for Bradley Reim, he's on two sides of the coin. On one side, he's glad he's not going to lose the points lead, from the 60. On the other side, he's hoping and praying the 60 driver is all right, which Alexander Underwood did climb out of that Dodge Viper under his own power, even though he had to be helped out of the car, because remember, where he hit that tire wall was on the driver's side, so they had to get him out. They had to cut the roof on the 60 so that way he can get out of the car. But he did walk to the ambulance under his own power, so that's good news to tell. And he's right now currently in the infield care center getting ready to currently being checked, and he'll be released momentarily. This track is a drafting road course. One of the rarest things you hear me say the words a road course with drafting powers, and we saw that in this morning's go or go home qualifying session. And we'll see what happens here in this race this afternoon here in Motegi. Remember, it is late on the East Coast. It is like early afternoon here in Saitama, if you notice the time change and why we start this race at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Green flag back in the air here at Saitama. Now, even though these drivers can make it 21 laps, we saw in the test race that they all came to pit road fearing about tires could come into play, which that's another thing about this. If we go into a long green flag run and we have pit stops, oh boy, that could get spicy real quickly. Elena Aurora just ran wide in the back. Reagan Whitlock looking for his second career Red Bull GT Series win and first of season 4. But here comes the one of Reggie Fogleman. Of course, he's not getting a lot of drafting help. Well, that's going to go completely all for naught as the yellow is out for the second time today. We're only on lap number 6. That was lap number 5. Let's see who brought out this yellow. And it looks like it's Sebastian Palmer who raced his way into today's race via the go or go home session. And Josh Harmon looks like he has been involved in whatever this yellow is. So the caution out for a second time. We don't even complete a green flag lap. Palmer making a second start, dropped 6 spots down to 43rd in the points. And Josh Harmon dropped 3 spots to 23rd in the points. Yeah, there's the set of skid marks. That would explain it all. Yellow's out for the second time today. We'll see if these drivers may have to pit for tires. While they think about that, let's go back and see what happened to Josh Harmon and Sebastian Palmer, as we're still in the early stages here at Saitama. And here's what happened. Looks like Ingrid Pollard's going to turn Josh Harmon into the 3. And nearly sent the 3 up the hill, almost like I talked about with Ashley Tucker. Those two cars spin around. The only thing I think the 3 is going to get damaged is probably when he comes down the racetrack or something like that. Either that he had a damage glitch, or did the 78 hit him? I think the 78 hit him. As the 78, yeah, like you're going to avoid him there, Josh. Slightly clipped the Ace Hardware Jaguar, and there's a little bit of a hood buckle for Josh Harmon. And of course, remember the track has a lot of grip because it's cloudy. The problem is with these cars right now, and of course, little rubber, because remember we had Gorgon qualifying this morning, so that's a tough break for Sebastian Palmer making his second start. Josh Harmon could be in danger of possibly falling outside the top 35 after this race. As the yellow's out for the second time today, let's get back to the restart here at Saitama. Well, I can tell you with the way we have had 2 cautions so far, I have a pretty good feeling we might see fuel mileage or tires possibly coming into play, as we're going to go back to green past the 1/4 mark of today's race. Whitlock is still the race leader. Fogleman still second. Trinity Lee, Vaco Seaman, Annie Crenshaw, Dana Monroe, Logan Williams, Elena Aurora, Ponzo Albanus, and now in the top 10 is Kasumi Takashi. This is her home race, one of 2 races we are racing here in Japan, which I bet you she's really excited. With this race being the first of two Japanese races, these drivers will stay here in Japan, including the drivers who failed to qualify for this race. Next week, we head to Twin Ring Motegi, and of course, the defending winner of that race is not in the field. That would be Will Parrish. The car that he drives is currently occupied by Jared Johnson. Nobody out of the race after that incident, by the way. The three had to spend some extra time on pit road, probably repairing a little bit of rear end damage. And, you don't want to have damage here on a track where drafting comes into play, especially, on the front or on the rear of the car. You're going to be slower, you're going to be a lot slower. And it's almost like Daytona and Talladega, except you're on a road course, not on a super speedway. I'd be really curious to see if we do have to make green flag pit stops or caution flag pit stops during this 21 lap race. These drivers do have enough fuel to make it 21 laps, but do they have enough tires to make it 21 laps? That's the key question. As like I said, restarts are single file, green flags in the air. We're back underway here at Saitama. Got a battle for third between the two DVR drivers of Vanko Seaman and Trinity Lee. Whoa, David Santi ran a little bit wide in the background. I think Cody Smart did the same in the 7-Eleven machine. Kyler Anderson has been checked and released from the infield care center, so that's good. Glad to see he's okay. Got our green flag lap in, so that's good. Trinity Lee now down to fourth. Move Vanko Seaman up to third. And remember, Vanko Seaman comes into this race top 10 in the points. Comes in this race fourth in points, and let's not forget, he also is the rookie points leader. The gal that was trying to run him down for the rookie points leader, which is Sarah Redmond, currently running in 19th last time by. As we still have all 41 drivers still in the race and on the lead lap. The only driver out is Alexander Underwood, which I'm glad he has been checked and released from the infield care center, but kind of disappointing day if you ask me. And we're right now, if we get another caution, we'll be right at the most cautions from the test race I did, which was 3. We've already had 2 so far. And like I said, these drivers can make it 21 laps. The question's going to be, are they going to have to make pit stops in regarding to tires if they can make it 21 laps on tires? That's going to be the big question. And for those that have never seen a lap around Saitama, if you didn't see our qualifying session this morning, Reagan Whitlock will have the honor to take you a lap around Saitama. As we're coming down the front straightaway, completing lap 10, we're also going to be at the midway point of this race. Coming through turn 1 under the Zumi sign. Coming up across underneath the interesting face sign. This is where Amy Harrison or Laura Cyrus had a wreck over here in 3, and then Ashley Tucker flipped right over here, which we already saw that second yellow. And now we're coming to the fastest part of the track right here, the small right-hand bend at the end of the backstretch, where you're come flying in there under the Namoto sign. This is kind of like a FARC track from 2012, which I'm glad we have come back to this track. Down the front straightaway, and that is how you complete a lap here at Saitama. Yeah, you can see the lap times are starting to dwindle. Josh Harmon's got rear end damage, so he's right now off the pace. Doesn't look like Sebastian Palmer's off the pace. He's still right up here with these leaders. Bradley Reim right now, the points leader, back in 39th. Sean Art is back here at the rear of the field, so there's a couple of drivers running well in points back here near the rear of the field. The 20 is also back here, which that's not good for the 20. That's Jürgen Smith. Jürgen Smith was 28th in the points. He was 12 points ahead of 35th in the standings, so this is not where he needs to be. Zachary Fitzwater failed to qualify for the first 2 races up here at back here at the rear of the field. Andrew Williams, there's Ingrid Pollard. Pollard does not need a poor finish today. Needs to get herself back in the top 35. Not sure why the 2's slowing down. Unless she got off that corner pretty bad, and you see she's paying the price for it. One moment you have to get out of the throttle, and it's really going to hurt your momentum. And that's why you lose positions hand over fist. Shyla Askeroff running in 19th. Need to get herself back in the top 35 to get locked into next week's race at Motegi. As we've just had a lead change, Reggie Fogleman just got around Reagan Whitlock. So Reagan Whitlock, who's led the most laps, might not win today. And remember, Reggie Fogleman came as race 26 in the points. Fogleman has not been to victory lane since season 2. And I'm trying to remember where in season 2. Of course, he didn't run last season because he didn't sign up for the series last season. Last time we saw Reggie Fogleman was back in season 2, and I cannot remember off the top of my head which race he won. Oh, and as soon as I say that, I just found the race that I was just talking about. Last win for Reggie Fogleman was Chicagoland back in season number 2. That was the last time he went to victory lane. And of course, that was when he drove the number 99 Menard's Ford Mustang, which is now occupied by Kyler Anderson. And that was at the time Reggie Fogleman replaced the now banned, replaced Dylan Matthews, who got ejected from what was then called the DRL Red Bull GT Series. But since DRL was not coming back, which I do not know if Dylan Matthews is even aware DRL is gone, Dylan Matthews could get reinstated. We'll have to wait and see. But that was the last time Reggie Fogleman has been to victory lane. That was race number 22. So let me think. That would be 4, 7. I'm doing this in my head, by the way. If I'm talking in my head, talking right now, that I'm not commentating, I'm sorry. Of course, last season was 23, so he didn't take part, so that's 27. So that was basically 29 races ago, the last time Reggie Fogleman has been to victory lane. The question is, was that his only win as we're down to 4 to go? I'm going to have to look that up. I think if I'm correct, let me actually make sure. Yep, that was his only win in the Red Bull GT Series. So it was Chicagoland of Season 2, the last time Reggie Fogleman has found victory lane in this series. He had 1 win, 5 top 5, 6 top 10s. Finished that season 31st in the points. And remember, that was when he came in to replace Dylan Matthews, who had a win last season, or win in season 2. That was also the same season Nathan Orman got replaced, as well as Sebastian Palmer's come. Caution! Henrietta Fitzwater into the wall. I was just mentioning Sebastian Palmer came to pit road. Matty Crenshaw's torn up. Our pole sitter from 2 weeks ago. Oh boy, has this race thrown a monkey wrench or not? That's a shame for Matty Crenshaw. Now the big question is, are these drivers going to pit? A, and B, is this going to end the race under the yellow flag? If these drivers have to pit before this race is over, oh boy, this throwing the monkey wrench on its head. And that was the last thing Reggie Fogleman needed to see was a yellow. And we have tied the cautions for the test race, which was 3. Who else was collected in this besides Matty Crenshaw? I don't know if Kaiser got a piece of it. But she's so far back, I have a suspicious feeling she had something to do with this. Caution's out for the 3rd time today. I do not know if we're going to get back to green, but let's go back and look at see what happened to Henrietta Fitzwater as we're nearing the end of the race here at Saitama. Let's see what happened here. I really can't explain this one. Boy, I don't know if the 36 had a problem or something, because she slowed way up and Henrietta Fitzwater couldn't slow down and just took both of them into the tire wall. That was kind of strange. Let's see. Yeah, I think the 36 had a problem because there would be no other way, and Henrietta Fitzwater couldn't slow down. I mean, the 36 just completely brake checked the 59, took both drivers off the track and into the tire wall. That's a tough break for Henrietta Fitzwater, whose day is going to come to a disappointing end. And this could put Henrietta Fitzwater outside the top 35, along with the 36. Actually, Matty Crenshaw came in this race 9th in points. And after what she thought was going to win the race, only to get passed by Ponzo Albanus, and well, this is not going to make the situation any better. So we could end up having both Zachary Fitzwater and Henrietta Fitzwater possibly in a have to qualify into Motegi next week. So the yellow's out for the third time today. We're going to have to see if we're going to be going back to green or not, as we're going to go back to live action here at Saitama. Well, we're going to have a green-white checker to finish up today's race, as J Fogleman is the leader. Trinity Lee now in second, D Monroe third, Vinko Seaman fourth, Elena Aurora fifth, Ponzo Albanus sixth. Speaking of Ponzo Albanus, who's having a good run so far, backing up his first career win last time or 2 weeks ago at Riverside. John Smith, the fourth and seventh. That's a driver who really needed a good run. Failed to qualify at Riverside, having a good run here today. Jared Johnson eighth, Skylar Taylor ninth, and Ricky Cervantes complete the top 10. Drivers out after that incident, two to be exact. They are Matty Crenshaw and Henrietta Fitzwater, and they joined Zach Underwood back, or not Zach Underwood, excuse me, fail. They joined Alexander Underwood back behind the wall. See, I get the two Underwoods mixed up. I'm thinking of Zach Underwood from the Monster Energy series and Alexander Underwood. Either way. And we also had drivers come to pit. Oh, Takashi's got damage. J Fogleman. How did this happen? Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that all about? Hold the bleeping horses. Hold the bleeping horses. Was this coming back to the yellow? Yes, it was. I didn't see this. What was this all about? I mean, Takashi just right rear hooked Reagan Whitlock for really I don't know what reason that was. And took both of them in the tire wall the same way Henrietta Fitzwater turned Matty Crenshaw and carried in the tire wall, and the 88 goes upside down. I have no bloody ass clue what the hell that was all about. And that was coming back to the yellow, I like to add. That's a tough break for Kasumi Takashi, but I don't know what on earth what was going on between the 71 and the 88. And now they have gone behind the wall as a result. I don't think the officials are going to be too happy about that, because that is the, and like I said, that was under the yellow flag, I like to add, as why is the 01 passing the 23 when you're supposed to be in line, unless the 23's got an issue. And here's the part, she's already passed the pit lane. Oh, the 01's going to get black flagged along with the 10. Oh, this is kind of a messed up restart. We're back to green. I have a feeling these two are going to get black flag because they passed before the start-finish line. Trinity Lee's got a problem. That's going to hell up Annie Crenshaw. And that just really bottlenecked everybody and their parents. We got a caution. This race will end under the yellow. Look at that stack up it caused. Something has happened. Now we're 4 wide back here at the rear of the field because of that stack up effect. 23 better get it to pit road with whatever the issue was, and she already bypassed the pit lane. The question is the 10 and the 01 going to get black flag? Because remember, you're not supposed to pass under the yellow flag coming to the restart, which is a big no-no. And the officials might have something to say about that. As we're coming to the white flag. Fogleman's got the white flag. And the caution's not out. So we will race back no matter what. L Aurora on the outside got a beautiful run. And so did John Smith the fourth. And it looks like it happened again. It happened to Matty Crenshaw at Riverside. It happens again to Reggie Fogleman this time around. And Elaine Aurora just took the lead just like that. Reggie Fogleman was super slow. And I'm not so sure if the 13 came to pit road along with the 7. If they did, that was beautiful move. As we come through the final corner for the final time, oh goodness me, they're in second gear. What a crazy race this has become here in the Red Bull GT Series, and it comes with a shocking winner in Elaine Aurora, who's going to win at Saitama in the most bizarre way in the series. And Elaine Aurora cannot believe it. I cannot believe it up here. And that 13 came out of nowhere, like Reggie Fogleman had a problem or some kind. And Elaine Aurora and J Simth IV went by Reggie Fogleman. And just like that, DVR just got their second win of the season, just like that. It was Ponzo Albanus 2 weeks ago at Riverside. It's Elaine Aurora this week. Oh, Emma Kaiser's up in smoke. Before we show your official finishing results, let's see what happened to Kaiser. That's a shame for Emma Kaiser. I don't know if she was involved in an incident or not. No, she just blew up. Oh my goodness. I'm in disbelief. I am in absolute disbelief what I just witnessed in this race. That was totally unexpected. And it doesn't look like the officials penalized the two drivers that passed, which that's going to be controversial, to say the least. And I'll have to see if Elaine Aurora did go to victory lane last season. I don't think she did. Elaine Aurora actually did go to victory lane. I can't remember the last time, so this will be her third Red Bull GT Series win of her career and first of season 4. And just like that, DVR has now gone to victory lane 2 of the first 3 races. So they picked up their magic from season number 2, from season 2. And Aurora nearly won the championship, so there you go. J Simth IV will get second, Jarrett Johnson third, Reggie Fogleman, who thought he had it in the bag. Apparently, I don't know what happened to him, because he had a apparent issue. Unfortunately, he's going to have to settle for fourth. That's a tough break for him, but still a good result nevertheless for him, dropping 16 spots to 26th in the standings. In one of the most bizarre finishes I've seen on this track before. Vanko Seaman will get fifth. Good run for Vanko. Remember, he came in this race as the rookie points leader. I think he's going to keep the rookie points lead heading into next week's race. The question is he going to take the overall points lead? That's going to depend where other drivers finished. Dana Monroe will get 6th. Dana came into this race 25th in the points, so she's continuing to build herself a cushion between herself and 35th in the standings. Skylar Taylor will get 7th. Skylar, after dropping 12 spots down to 21st, will be back in the top 20. Just like that. Ponzo Albanus, one race removed from his first career win, gets a top 10 in 8th. So he's going to continue to build his cushion between himself and 12th and 35th in the standings with a solid run of 8th. Cody Goforth, 3rd in points in 9th. I think Cody Goforth could be in the conversation of taking the points lead. And let's see, his gap between him and Venko Seaman. Seaman finished in fifth. Goforth finished in ninth. Neither of them led a lap, so I think we're gonna have a tie for the points lead between Venko Seaman and Cody Goforth. The only catch is Seaman will keep the Rookie of the Year points lead because it looks like the guy who was trying, or the gal, I should say, that was trying to run him down for the rookie points lead, Sarah Redmond, finished in 14th, but still a good run for Sarah Redmond. Cody Goforth got ninth, and the 77. If I go back to Discord here for a minute, so I pronounce this name. I know somebody just messaged me. Jogan Schmidt will complete the top 10. Good run for that driver. Ricky Cervantes, Lucian Bianchi, Lizette Armstrong, Sarah Redmond, second in the Rookie of the Year standings. And Zachary Fitzwater, good run for him in his first start of the season, as far as that is concerned. As far as that is concerned, as you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, Trinity Lee retired out of the race with a tire after she was in the top 5. What a tough break for Trinity Lee and that number 23 team. I bet that's probably a bit disappointing for her, and she's going to really take a hit in the standings. And where we see she was 8th in points, so she was a driver who was running well in points, so she could not ill afford a poor finish. Trying to find Bradley Reim. Bradley Reim, 24th, came as race the points leader. The good news is the guy that was trying to run him down for the points lead, ironically being his teammate, Alexander Underwood, out of the race. He came as race second in points. And of course, Cody Goforth, Vanco Seaman finished ahead of those drivers. Same with Sarah Redmond. But I can guarantee you, Vanco Seaman is going to be tied with Cody Goforth for the points lead. As far as that is concerned, we had 36 drivers finished on the lead lap. Emma Kaiser was the last of them. Not entirely sure what blew on the 36 machine. Something mechanical failure as far as that is concerned. And then 6 drivers, which we already mentioned, Lee and Underwood out of the race. They were joined by Tatsumi Takashi, Reagan Whitlock, which I bet you those two are going to have an explanation what the hell that was all about in turn one after the final caution came out, why those two took each other out for some odd reason. And then the Matty Crenshaw, Henrietta Fitzwater incident, I think we could say that something happened to the 36 and Henrietta Fitzwater ran in the back of the Orbit Chevy Corvette. But I bet you these two are going to have a little discussion about what on earth that was all about in the closing stages of this race. But my goodness, was this track a great debut track or what? And we're just getting started here in Japan, as these drivers will remain here in Japan as we head to Motegi next week for the Red Bull GT Series. But I can tell you this race, making its debut, did its kind to shake up the points, and we're going to have a major point shakeup heading into next week at Motegi. So there you go. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's race here at Saitama. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Motegi, which is going to be a fun race. We'll have Gorgom qualifying at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will go racing for the 4th race of the season. Of course, these drivers had a week off last week trying to get to Japan. So as I said, these drivers, some of them will head back to the States to go get ready for their next crop of races, if you ask me. Of course, we are going to head over to Gateway for Trucks, Busch, and the Winston Cup Series. So that will be coming up next. As far as that is concerned, I am correct. So We have Gateway for Trucks and Bush and Winston Cup will be at Pocono Raceway. Hope you'll join us for those races coming up. And until then, I've been Dino signing off. Sayonara! Here in Japan, we'll talk to you at Motegi as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.